After months of drama, the transfer window has finally closed. Squads around Europe are set until January, but which signings will be a success and who will fail to live up to expectation?
Hello there and welcome to Football Now from Doha. The domestic leagues in Europe are not long underway, but for many countries on the continent, the transfer window has, as they say, slammed shut. It means that the likes of the Premier League, the Bundesliga, Serie A, Liga and La Liga must now all wait until the window reopens in January for any potential new signings. Although the new kids on the block, the Saudi Pro League, the deadline doesn't end until later in September. More on that shortly. But first, let's remind ourselves about some of the biggest deals the game has ever seen.
Around the Premier League, there were plenty of high-profile names on the move as the British transfer record was smashed on multiple occasions. Early on, we saw Declan Rice swap West Ham for Arsenal in a €115 million deal, but that fee was topped again by Chelsea, who beat Liverpool to the signature of Brighton star Moises Caicedo for a staggering €120 million. It wasn't all doom and gloom at Anfield though, as Jurgen Klopp still completed an overhaul of his midfield. Their outgoings were replaced by Alexis McAllister, Dominic Szoboszlai, Wataru Endo and Ryan Gravenberch, who should all provide a much needed injection of energy into Klopp's team.
I think all in all it looks really healthy for Liverpool, essentially restarting the midfield. Obviously Alexis McAllister has got Premier League experience, but I think Endo is an excellent signing, a bit of experience in there when you've got young players like Szoboszlai especially, who's not going to necessarily hit the ground running. Ryan Gravenberch similar. They've strengthened the defensive midfield, they've strengthened attacking positions, they'll be more mobile, they arguably have better passing ability now, so I think it's a really good move for them.
Chelsea's rate of spending meant that they had to offload a couple of players, one of whom was Romelu Lukaku, who ended up on loan at Roma and reunited with his former Manchester United manager, Jose Mourinho. Over in Spain, Barcelona signed both Ilkay Gundogan and João Cancelo from Manchester City, and Real Madrid signed one of the biggest talents in Europe, snapping up Jude Bellingham from Borussia Dortmund. But as one star left the Bundesliga, another arrived, Harry Kane finally making the decision to leave Tottenham as he made his way to Bayern Munich, in a move that could finally see him lift some long-awaited silverware.
It's definitely, a bit of a knock to the product. Obviously, the Premier League markets itself as the best league in the world, and whenever you lose a player who's as good as Harry Kane is, that's going to be a bit of a knock to you. And I think for England, it's good for him to go out and have a new league. That will arguably make him a better player. For him leaving the Premier League, it's interesting that obviously that Tottenham got knocked out of the Carabao Cup. It just shows he needed to leave to go and try and win cup competitions or anything, to be honest, because that's arguably Spurs' best chance of winning something this season. They've already lost it. It wasn't even September when that happens.
Well, one player that probably won't have escaped your attention there is Moises Caicedo. The former Brighton man finally got his move this summer following an eye-watering €120 million deal to Chelsea, a Premier League record. The transfer was the top trend on social media for 48 hours, whilst the Blues and Liverpool competed for his services. One man reporting on the deal was Ben Jacobs, who told us about the complexities of the move.
At the beginning of the summer, it all just seemed so simple. Chelsea wanted Caicedo, Caicedo wanted Chelsea. Personal terms were agreed, and then things got complicated. First of all, Chelsea felt like Caicedo shouldn't have been more than 80 million, and as talks started to drag on, I think that Liverpool saw a window of opportunity. They bid 111 million, but as ever in a window, it's not just about money, it's also about the player. And Caicedo made it clear to Chelsea and Liverpool that he only wanted Chelsea.
Well, one man well versed in the madness of the transfer window is Gaizka Mendieta, the former Valencia captain featured in La Liga, the Premier League and Serie A, and he gave us an insight into life as a player on the move.
Well, in my particular case, it was good because it was kind of my decision alongside with the club. We thought it was the best time for me to leave. It was very, very stressful and very, very tense when you have to move, and the news is every day. You're going here, you're going there, you're speaking to your agent all the time. There were some offers, but we did not know exactly which team we will be. And then, eventually, after I'd say maybe a bit less than a month, things started to get in place, and then the move happened, and I was happy that it was all sorted.
Now, as we mentioned, the Saudi transfer deadline fell a little later than in Europe.
The Pro League has shaken up the summer so far with some incredible deals, including Karim Benzema and Neymar, helping to make this the most lucrative summer ever. The question is, how high will these transfers go?
Saudis are here to stay. As we all know, the program of the PIF to invest in local football in order to make the Saudi Pro League one of the best 10 leagues in the world is until 2030 at least. You know, we have 7 years to work with a budget, a declared budget of around 20 billion euros for this purpose. And I think that after the transfer window of summer 2023, nobody will look on football in Saudi Arabia the same way.
The window never ceases to entertain, does it? That brings us to the end of this week's show. Do let us know your thoughts at home using the hashtag FootballNowTransfers, and we'll see you at the same time next week. Bye for now.